Here are the 9 worst e-commerce email marketing mistakes that I see every day that are costing you money. First, my name is Michael. I own an email agency called No Limit Email. We help e-commerce brands make millions of dollars every month through the power of email and retention marketing. Okay, so the biggest mistake I always see from email agencies or brands trying to hire an email agency is this obsession of getting 30 to 40% of revenue from Klaviyo or email. Now, why is this crazy? I'll tell you the truth. It's because any idiot can get 30 to 40% of revenue from email. If the brand has a pretty good product, if it's typically a product that does get repurchased, then 30 to 40% is crazy easy. My grandma could get you that. If it's a brand that's kind of like a one-off sale, then like a mattress or a blanket, then even 20 to 30% is super easy. All you have to do is create a pop-up, maybe have 5-10% off, maybe have $10 off for purchases over $200. Then you just need to build the welcome flow, abandon checkout, browse, site, win back, and then send a few campaigns, and voila, you're making 30 to 40% of revenue through email marketing. And this is why it's so stupid, because everybody's saying they can get you all this additional revenue, but it's actually extremely easy to do. Having 30 to 40% of revenue coming from Klaviyo is not a good indication of the health of your business. The other thing is that it can be gamed very easily. Somebody can go into the attribution settings for Klaviyo and set it from 5 days to 10 days, or they can just start discounting a little bit more, sending a bit more campaigns. And the other thing to realize is that most of that revenue comes from the welcome flow and from the abandoned checkout flow. These are already very high intent people who would have bought anyways, and you didn't even really have to send them an email to buy. So that is why this whole 20, 30, 40% of revenue from email platitude is complete bullshit. And I think if you're focusing on that, or if somebody's pitching it to you, then they're just pulling your leg, and I would really just ignore it. Okay, number 2 is focusing on channel specific metrics over business KPIs. So a lot of the times, maybe you will, maybe your agency does, but they're focusing on open rates, click rates, revenue per recipient, testing subject lines, right? But really none of that means anything. What's really important to a brand is these 3 things. It's short-term and mid-term cash flow. So that means how much money can you get out of each customer and bring back into the company within the next 30, 60, 90 days. Why is this important? Because you need money back, as much money back as you can within the shortest amount of time, so that you can put it back into marketing, pay for operations, pay for cost of goods, inventory, to actually keep the business running and growing and moving along. If it takes you 6 months to realize that value or that cash, bankable profits, then your business is going to die. You're not going to have that money back, so you can't grow, you can't buy new inventory, and even if you do, you have to wait for a lead time, and everything just completely sucks. So my question to you is, would you rather have more opens, more clicks, more revenue per recipient, or would you rather be raking in more profitable revenue and cash flow for your business? Now, open rates and click rates and everything, they can be really good breadcrumbs and signals to what's going on inside the Klaviyo account. But if you keep chasing and focusing on these vanity metrics, your business is going to end up sinking while you're looking the other way. So really, you should be looking at the macro trends and less at the channel specific micro trends that are actually happening in email. Number 3 is not collecting any zero-party data. So people are coming to the website, you're saying here's 10% off, and all you're getting is an email address. And then you're just giving them emails, marketing messages. But you actually don't know anything about that person. You don't know how they get value out of your product, why they get value or why they want to buy your product. You don't know their pain points, their goals, their lifestyle. Are they a beginner at using this product? Are they very advanced at using it? We have a brand that sells knit yourself sweaters. We have a brand that sells car detailing, right? People coming to your website, they're gonna be very different people, and they deserve different messaging. And the other thing to think about is that maybe 80-90% of the people who are coming to your website are complete beginners, or they actually need the car detailing products for their boat and not for their car, or maybe it's for their motorcycle. So now you're sending them messages as if, they're experts at knitting, or you're sending them messages as if they should be detailing their boat or motorbike when actually they're using it for their car. And it's completely off, and your conversions will drop. So really what you want to do is collect zero-party data. So it's better to know that, instead of it just being, hey, this is dave@gmail.com, you want to know this is dave@gmail.com. And what matters to him the most is the taste of his supplements and getting strength and bulking. He doesn't care about shredding. He doesn't care about price, things like that. Now that you know this, you can actually personalize the welcome flow. You can personalize messaging that you send to them. If you figure out that 90% of the people coming to your website are actually coming because they want to bulk instead of shred, then you should start also showing this in your ads and also showing it in your product page, because it's going to make it convert better. So it's really important to do this customer research and actually know who you're talking to instead of just having an email address. All right, number 4 is actually A/B split testing things that matter. So I go into a lot of accounts when we're auditing a new client, and we can see the previous person has just been split testing like crazy. They've just gone on a rampage. They're split testing every email, they're split testing every subject line. But really, if you're just split testing 100 things and you don't even know why you're split testing them, or you have to track 100 different things, it's a massive burden, it's a lot of resourcing, and especially if it's things that are not going to move the needle. So really, you should be split testing the most important things. So what are they? Of course, it's going to be the pop-up, right? Split testing the pop-up, not just for a good sign-up rate, but actually sign up to conversion. And not only that, but also what offers are best for profit on first purchase, and what offers will actually produce a higher LTV of customer, or a higher quality of customer. That's why the pop-ups are so important, and especially because there's so much traffic to them, more traffic than you're sending to your email, because only 50% of people actually open emails. So you want to make sure you're split testing the pop-up as much as you can. And then the second thing is the most important flows. So the most important flows you should be split testing is the welcome flow, the abandoned checkout, maybe the browse abandon, and a bit of the post-purchase. Really, you're looking for flows that have the most amount of traffic that go through them, make the most amount of revenue, and are also responsible for creating more repeat purchases or customer experience. So these are the things you should be focusing on. Don't focus on a win back flow. So not as many people going through it, and most of the people who go through it are actually people, they're like lapsed customers or customers who are churning. So it's not going to give you a big uplift in performance. So don't waste your time there. Put more focus and energy where it matters. Number 5 is segmentation. So much to say about this, but I guess one of the big things I see that is wrong is too much segmentation. Hyper segmenting, right? So over segmenting. So a lot of people, they decide, okay, we're going to send an email, but we're selling a dress, so we're going to only send it to people who have bought dresses before or viewed the product page of the dress before, and we're going to send that email because they're obviously into dresses, right? Now the issue with this is that this is, one, it's just an assumption, and 2, just because somebody's bought a dress and looks at dresses doesn't mean that they're not interested in shirts, pants, sweaters, beanies, or whatever it is. What you end up doing is you hyper segment, your audience gets smaller, sure the email is going to perform well, but you're basically ignoring this massive part of your email list that could potentially want to buy a skirt. So really, you should be doing quite broad messaging and broad segments. Well, not specifically broad messaging, but broad segments, and making sure you're getting the most impressions and hitting the most amount of eyeballs as you can. That is going to bring in your business KPI, which is revenue. So narrow segment, it's gonna have great opens, great clicks, great revenue per recipient, but overall revenue is going to be lower. And do you want lower overall revenue, or do you want more? You obviously want more. So go with the broader segments. Number 6 is not separating prospects and customers. This can be done in flows and also in campaigns. Obviously, for customers with campaigns, you don't want to be showing them deals all the time. For a prospect who's never bought from you before, that's fine. It's cool. Get them across the line so that they become a customer, they can experience the product. But once that's happened, we don't have to blast them with promos or discounts. But the other thing is flows. So think about your abandoned checkout flow, or maybe your browse abandon, or your replenishment flow. If somebody has never bought from you and they go through the abandoned checkout, once again, it's okay if your unit economics can handle it to show them a discount or some form of incentive. But once somebody has bought from you and they go back into a flow again, like the abandoned checkout or the browse or replenishment, you don't want to show them discounts and incentives anymore. The reason why is, one, you're needlessly giving away margin. So you're eating into your profit margin from people who are customers who are likely to buy full price anyway. And number two, you're conditioning these people to now expect a promo, expect a coupon. And if they keep seeing these, they're just going to say to themselves, I'm just going to wait for the next discount to come around. These guys, I keep seeing discounts. Another discount's going to come around in a week or two. I'm just going to wait it out. So we don't want that to happen. We want to save your profit margin, and we don't want to get people waiting for discounts. Number 7 is always seeing static codes, especially in the welcome flow or the abandoned checkout, and sometimes these same codes used in both ones. We really want to try and use dynamic codes, because then we can actually track sales, we can actually track redemption, how well codes are working in the welcome flow versus abandoned checkout. It just gives you a better, more clear and clean data for analytics and figuring out what to do next. Number 8, bad deliverability practices. See it all the time. For some reason, a lot of email marketers or agencies think that the only thing that affects deliverability is open rates and clicks. This is not true. A big part of it is your sending infrastructure, which is a bit too technical for this video, but I do have another video all about staying out of spam, which you can check out. Make sure your deliverability is top notch and you're hitting the inbox. And then number 9. Okay, so number 9 is they don't know the unit economics of the company. So unit economics is how much does it cost to deliver a product, and how much does it retail for? How much is the CAC on it, shipping, returns, all of that put into the equation. And then in the end, it's like, okay, what's the true margin, average margin on this product? What does the profit look like? Figuring that out for all of your best-selling products or all of your products, and then being able to create better offers in your campaigns and flows. Because typically we always see, hey, you can have 10% site-wide, hey, you can have 20% site-wide. But if you know your unit economics, then you can actually see, well, do 10% site-wide, they can buy anything, and we can actually lose quite a bit of margin and profit there. But there's one product that we have, and we can actually give away 15% off because it's got such great margins. And we know it's a bestseller, and we know it creates repeat purchases and repeat buyers and great lifetime value. So instead of just for this flow doing, hey, 10% off everything site-wide, we'll say, hey, here's 15% off our best-selling item, right? It's gonna be the same profit, but it's also a better incentive, and it's gonna have more uptake on that offer for purchases. So you're gonna get more conversions, same profit margin, and also chances for people coming back will increase. And that's why somebody on your email marketing side, having them understand unit economics is super important. Awesome. I hope you got to learn something out of that. If you did enjoy it, like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to learn how to create an optimized post-purchase flow to increase customer lifetime value, make sure you watch my video to the right.